Bowling is a sport that seems simple. You have 10 pins standing and 2 balls to knock them all down, but at a 60 feet distance. So how complicated can 75 feet of play area get? Well, let's start with the bowling lane itself. As I said earlier, the bowling lane is 60 feet in length and the approach is 15 feet. The lane has 39 boards. There are also 7 arrows and 4 range markers. On these lanes are coded oil patterns. There are a ton of oil patterns. So after calculating all of the oil patterns on the USBC website, we have a granddaddy total of, oh my god, 574 oil patterns. How? There are a variety of patterns, short, medium, and long, as well as how much volume of oil certain patterns have. You can have a heavy short pattern or a light long pattern. But how can you tell the difference? Well, that's where the bowling ball comes into play. Bowling balls all look pretty cool in designs, but they give you crucial information of what's really going on in the lanes. Bowling balls aren't just smooth. Some actually have surface, which is one of the key features of a bowling ball. There are 4 types of surfaces: solid, pearl, hybrid, and urethane. But we'll get to urethane in a bit. A solid surface is like snow tires. Its purpose is to dig deep in the oil, which is better for more volume-heavy patterns, like the PBA Shark, which is 48 feet and 30 milliliters of oil. A pearl surface is like a NASCAR tire, and it doesn't dig deep into the oil. These would be more useful for shorter patterns, like the PBA Cheetah, which is 33 feet in length and is 27 milliliters. Hybrid simply is kind of a mix of both surfaces. It can be 2 parts solid or 1 part pearl, vice versa, or even 50-50. Now, let's go back to urethane. When it gets rolled down the lane, it sucks up the most oil out of all surfaces. But unlike the others, the oil does not go in the ball. Yes, bowling balls do suck in oil. That is why you do need to clean them every time you bowl. Once you wipe the oil off the urethane, it's like you just didn't throw it the previous frame. It's good as new. While we are on the topic, urethane balls used to be in some drama. 2 years ago, the USBC announced that if a urethane is 2 years or older after the manufacture date, it is now an illegal ball, meaning you cannot use it to bowl in official USBC leagues/tournaments. Apparently, they soften over time, and when it softens, it reacts more and can be a bit more controllable on the back end of the lane. What was also insane with this news is that the urethane balls weren't the only things banned. 3 storm balls, 2 900 global balls, and 1 Rotogrip ball all had the same fate, and it was the same problem. But it's not over yet. Here's another turn. The PBA, which its rules orbit the USBC, did not ban these balls like the USBC announced, and the pros even had a say about it too.
This one's for you guys. This one is for you guys. They can't stop us. They can't stop us.
Okay, we got a bit sidetracked with some bowling drama. Now we know the different types of ball surfaces are out there, but we just scratched the surface. No pun intended. Surfaces. Yes, we just talked about them, but there's also another type of surface you put on the bowling balls. Think of these surfaces as sandpaper. They can range from 500 to 3000 grit. The lower the number, the rougher the surface. Again, think of it as a range from snow tires to NASCAR tires. Now, it's time to go inside the bowling ball. And this is how the bowling ball hooks. The core. There are 2 different types of cores, symmetrical and asymmetrical. The symmetrical core has an arc hook, while the asymmetrical has more of a sudden hook. There are also very complicated features behind these bowling balls as well. Radius of gyration has a play. For example, let's compare 2 bowling balls in my arsenal, the Shimwrecker and the High Road. The Shimwrecker has an RG of 2.49, while the High Road is 2.58. Because the RG of the Shimwrecker is lower, it will hook slightly earlier than the High Road. Even though this early hook could not even be an inch apart, it's a big difference when it comes into the ball hitting the pins. Now this is just comparing 2 bowling balls. There are over 500 balls that have been made with their own unique core, cover stock, and RG and differential, which both RG and differential is one of the most complicated elements of understanding a bowling ball. RG itself is complicated and has a lot of math that I'm too lazy to do. If you're still interested, there are tons of videos out there that could definitely help you have a more understanding on radius of gyration. These are very important. From the oil patterns earlier, when a ball goes down a lane, it picks up oil. Once you've bowled on that same line a few times, that area becomes drier. You need to adjust because there will be too much friction. That could be moving your feet slightly left or right, moving your target, hand position, shoulders, eyes, and hips. It could be a small move, but it can be such a big difference once the ball hits the pins. Saving the most important factor for last, the mental game.
It's one of the things that separates like good players from elite players.
You being mentally strong can make you a winner or a loser. Miss despair? You gotta let it go. If you're mad, you will unintentionally ruin your game. Having the mental game down can truly make you one of the best bowlers in the world, because you then have an understanding of one thing, making mistakes, and moving on to make the next shot better than the last.
And if you don't have a mental game, it doesn't matter.